Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time here, welcome. This is Essential Patience and I Am Patience. In today's video, we are talking about cheap things that cost more. So as we all know, we're in a time of recession, and this is the time where a lot of people try to cut costs. But even on your financial journey, I always talk about sacrificing and cutting out things from your budget and just reducing the prices of overall things to make sure that you have excess money to pay off debts if you need to invest in, and all the other things that you want to hit as financial goals. And with this excited spirit, this is where we are tempted to cut costs on certain items. And while it is always good to look for cheaper alternatives, it's not always the best. So we're going to go through this list of 10 things that you should never buy cheap, in my opinion. But before we get into it, remember to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, like this video, and let's get straight into it. 10 things to never buy cheap. Number one is food. As the saying goes, health is wealth. Very true. Your health and the quality of your health can make a huge difference, even financially, and the quality of your life that you have now and in the future. And that is why you should get into the habit of buying good foods. Now, just because I say good foods does not mean shop at the organic stores exclusively. No, but what I mean is that you want to buy good quality food and you don't want to buy junk food. So make sure that you put your money in the best places, and you don't need a huge budget to eat healthy. I personally don't have a huge budget, so make sure that you are shopping for good quality food at a nice grocery store versus going towards a convenience store and just buying a whole bunch of junk food as your food for the month. That helps nothing. And I would be one of the people to say that buying junk food is not that cheap. Okay, a bag of apples costs the same thing as like a case of cookies. Which one would you rather buy? Well, that's different, but which one is better for you? The point is that it's not too expensive the way we try to make healthy food seem like it is very expensive and the only place you can get is Whole Foods. That's not true. You can find some good quality food, some good healthy foods at your local grocery store. So go there. Number two is skincare products. I would know this, and I know this from experience, because I remember buying some skincare and not knowing too much about it, and it just causing years of acne. It is not worth it. When you're putting your money to skincare, I don't believe that any product should be costing $50 plus for the most part. You don't need to buy a very expensive designer brand facial wash just to get good skin. But what I would say is that you still want to buy one in the medium range. So nothing very cheap, I'm not gonna say it, nothing that is too cheap, but you also want to make sure that you're reading the ingredients. That is very important. And that's where I come in, because if you buy in very cheap products, more likely than not, they're using cheap ingredients. And when you're talking about skincare and the face being one of the most sensitive skins on your body, you want to make sure that you are being gentle with, and the ingredients in it are gentle and rather helping you rather than ruining your skin. So make sure that you are buying good quality products, not overly expensive. Like, I personally love CeraVe. CeraVe is not too expensive, but it's really good. Read the instructions, read the ingredients, and see if it's best fit for you. Number three is clothes and shoes. And I know this may not be popular now because fast fashion is in. There are a lot of people who are just buying a whole bunch of things from these fast fashion stores and wearing it and then tossing it out and then buying it every single month or every few months. But why? Because the clothes and shoes are really bad quality. I've moved towards a place in my life where I'm trying to stay away from fast fashion. I've been doing good so far, and rather putting my money into quality pieces that will last me a long time. For example, this dress here, I've had it since my senior year of high school. I actually got this for a graduation present for me to go to a scholarship meeting, and this dress is really good quality. It lasts me forever, and even though it's white, like the color is white and pink, but the color still is vibrant, and nobody would ever know that I've had this piece now for over 5 years. Quality matters in the way you handle your clothes. So I really think it's important where we move towards being more conscious about our clothes, buying good quality, even though it's expensive. I know it's expensive. Believe me, I know. Take the approach of saving up for a piece and being intentional with that piece. And if you can't afford a new piece, maybe it's time to take a break from buying clothes, save up money to the point where you can, and then buy it and keep that. And that will last you for many years. Good clothes last. And of course, same with shoes. Number 4 is an umbrella. Yes, I mean an umbrella, a literally umbrella, because I think a lot of us go through umbrellas so fast because you buy the cheapest umbrella and then you wonder why it doesn't last. And as I've grown up, I've been into buying good quality umbrellas because there are times where I have a cheap umbrella and then it rains. It feels like I don't have an umbrella. I must as well not have, and my hair gets wet, and that's a mess when I have to come home and deal with that. It's just so inconvenient. Buy a good umbrella. Like, I now want to like get the big, large umbrellas. If you're gonna spend your money in that, it's gonna last you a long time. You're not gonna have to keep buying $5, $10 umbrellas, and you will stay dry. So what's your choice? Number 5 is electronics. Now, I'm a big proponent of not spending all your money on electronics. I don't think everybody needs a $1,000 phone and a $3,000 computer. Not at all. But if you're gonna buy electronics, I would say definitely buy good quality depending on what you're buying it for, and know what you're using it for. For example, when I was doing engineering in college, I needed a bigger computer RAM space because of the programs I was running. So I couldn't just go buy a $300 computer with 4 gigabytes of RAM thinking it's gonna run all of my IDEs for coding C++ or Python, or even some of my model sim to run hardware design languages. That was just not gonna happen. So you want to buy good quality, because you either buy it nice or you buy it twice. And there are several people who had to buy 2 computers. I ended up having to get a new computer later on because the other one, it went through a rough time. But when I was buying my second computer, it was an Apple computer because I was helping with video editing. I thought about the future and where my editing is going towards. And because I foresaw that far, now when I started doing my YouTube channel, I didn't have to buy a new computer. It's still lasting me. I'm still able to use it. It has 16 gigabytes of RAM, which is really good. And that's me thinking long term, because I don't want to keep having to buy it over and over again. So buy it nice or buy it twice. Moving on to number 6, it is chargers and headphones. I went through the time phase, I think a lot of us did, where we're getting like very cheap headphones. They don't last that long, or even sometimes they like shock you. Has that ever happened to you? Let me know in the comment section, because I'm pretty sure I've had some headphones like shock me, especially when it gets like too cold. It does that, and it like rubs across your coats. It does that. At least it did for me. But yes, I kept buying chargers and I kept buying headphones, because I would buy these cheap headphones when I could literally put my money together and buy a good one. And now that I have good pairs of headphones, they've lasted me such a long time. I had a friend buy me some really nice headphones and I'm still using them to this day. My other headphones that I buy good quality, because if you keep having to buy over and over and over again, that's more money spent. And I know at the time it may seem cheaper, it may seem more practical for how much you have to spend, but I would challenge you to look at things long term. Buy your chargers, buy your headphones, good quality. Never buy cheap. Number 7 is insurance. I'm talking about health insurance, life insurance, car insurance. Don't go too cheap. Of course, compare. When I was getting my car insurance, I called about 4 different insurance companies to compare, and I got the best deal. But sometimes you don't want to go down to the bare minimum and have a $5,000 deductible on your health insurance just to use it. I mean, then what's the point? Of course, it may cover like bigger illnesses, but at some point, like we have to talk about this. And so when you're choosing insurance, when you're choosing different plans that are going to cover you, think practically. We all pray for the best, but still plan for the worst. So don't go too cheap on your insurance. Think, what's the worst case? I'm a young, healthy person, so I don't think I need like the best insurance that somebody who says prone to illnesses might need, but I still went good insurance. I still went quality when I was choosing my insurance. But I don't want to be in a situation where I have a $5,000 deductible because I was trying to save an extra $50 a month on my payments. That's not worth it to me. Number 8 is another one straight from experience, which is textbooks and textbooks with codes. You want to get the real deal, especially when it has the codes. This happened to me when I was one time taking sociology, and then I bought bought this book on Amazon. It was a used copy for $20. That was not the right book. I had to go buy a new book. It happened to me where I bought a book and the code is like not working because somebody used it, even though they said in their description that the code was unused. I wonder why. So for me, when I was in college, whenever it asked for a code, I always stayed safe. I either bought it from the bookstore or I bought it directly from the vendor. Most of the time the vendor is cheaper, so check it out. But I always kept it safe, because what is worse than having to pay $150 for a textbook? It is having to pay $75 for a book and then the code doesn't work. So you still have to go buy the $750 book anyway, right? And now you've wasted time, headache. Buy the textbooks with the codes. Buy directly from the vendors. Number 9 is don't travel cheap. So this is like vacations. That is something you don't want to do, especially if you're not used to traveling, or if you're traveling alone or with people who've never traveled before. Don't travel too cheap. You don't want to get the cheapest Airbnb, the cheapest hotel, motel in the area. Of course, we all don't have money to just go to a 5-star hotel every single time. That's understandable, but still do your research and don't be out here traveling dirt cheap. More importantly, don't be traveling if you're broke. Travel as an experience and try to do it at a good level where you can enjoy your experience. But if you're staying in a rat-infested motel, what kind of life is that? You're not going to enjoy your holiday. You're not going to enjoy your vacation. You're just going to be worried about the fact that you're in a nasty area. Do not be too cheap on everything that goes into that vacation. You want to go and have a good time. So if you don't think you have enough money at the moment for a vacation, don't take it. Just start saving your money, and then when you have enough money, you gather your group and then you go. But if you're going alone, especially as a woman, make sure that you are being very safe, because international traveling can be dangerous. Even national traveling can be dangerous. But make sure that you always put yourself in a situation where you're safe in your environment, and everything is not 100%, but paying a little extra most of the time push you into a safer environment. And number 10 is something that is now on trend, which is cosmetic procedures. Now, I can't speak from personal experience, but I would say that cosmetic procedures, plastic surgery is becoming very popular nowadays. The BBLs and all these enhancement, Botox, everything is skyrocketing. Like, we're in a recession, but it's not slowing down people getting plastic surgery. If you're going to do that, be sure you actually want to do that. That's such a big thing, and I'm not in the business of deciding what people can and can't do, but if you're going to do it, do your research. There's been a large number, and I'm pretty sure I want to do a video on this exclusively one day, because it is a huge number of people who are getting botched from surgeries. The risk, I think, just outweighs the whatever benefits you think you're going to get. But if you're going to do it anyway, because people will do what they want to do, make sure that you do research on your doctor. Probably don't go to a doctor who's trying to give you discounts, because since when did any certified doctors start giving discounts? Do not go to a doctor that you've not seen real life results from their other patients. Be careful out here. There are a lot of people who have died on the operating bed. BBLs are considered actually the most dangerous and the most deadliest surgery, plastic surgery. So make sure that if you're going to participate in all of this, which I highly recommend that you don't, because you can use the money for much more things, but if you are, don't go cheap, because the risks are astronomical. But with that, I hope I didn't end on a too heavy note. I was trying to communicate the best, because even though it's not something I have personal experience in, it's something I've literally been reading and like reading the stats on it, and you'll be shocked. Sometimes you see the good results on Instagram and you see people who talk about it in a good way, but there are a lot of people who have had really bad experiences, and people who have literally lost their legs, people who have lost body parts, had horrible results overall. So make sure that you take it from all sides. But with that, let's bring this video to a close. Those are 10 things I say never buy cheap. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section. Is there anything else you add to this list? I may do another video on this like this, but who knows? Let's get into it in the comment section. I want to know what you think. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and ring the notification bell, because I post 2 videos a week on Tuesdays and on Fridays. Come over, because the discussion is always interesting. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.